think now the sound should be fine. And yeah, guys, welcome back to my channel. And today in this video, I am trying a completely new thing. I have been trying to do this for quite some time, and I was not very confident how I would kind of present it. But then it slowly became inevitable that this is something which needs to be done. And so what I'm trying to do in this video and over the course of a few videos in this series is try to build something on a technology which I'm not very comfortable, but I'm able to apply my experience from PHP and Laravel in particular and see whether I am able to build something substantial enough using AI. So I have Cursor, the subscription for Cursor with me, and I also have a subscription for Claude. And what I feel is that with a combination of these two, I should be able to do something meaningful, develop something which is substantial enough. And I chose Python because if you have been following me on my channel, you would know that I have done a lot of learning of Python in the year 2024 end, and I did a little, quite some projects in Python over the course of 2025 as well. Now, I have never been as comfortable with Python as PHP. Obviously, there is a huge gap of 16 years. I mean, yes, my profile is a little outdated. That's what I see on my GitHub. But yes, over the course of 16 years, I have done a lot of PHP, a lot of Laravel as well, but I haven't done so much Python. Hence, as I said, if I am able to discover the best practices of Python, how to write good Python code, along with my knowledge and the help of AI editors, if I'm able to do that, then I would say that this is what I wanted to do, which is show you that if you have good command over one language, if you know the basics of development, then to a certain extent, writing code on different technology is not that difficult. I'm not saying it is very easy. No, you still have to read up a lot, and it's not like I am completely new to Python. I have spent about 2 to 3 months, solid 3 months on Python. And if you see my uh, this streak, right, which was from January till this whole March, right, I was on a daily basis doing a lot of Python coding. And yeah, then again there's a slob. 2025, it was a mixed one. In the last half of this 2025, I did a lot of coding because I started using the AI agents a lot. And yeah, I have been building quite a few things, and so I thought, why don't I try out this with Python now? And that helps me in two ways: understand the flow and also get a lot more familiar with Python for a large scale application that I'm trying to build over here. Obviously, I'm not going to get too many users, so the challenges of performance, I don't think I'll ever face that with this particular project. So that is something which will be missing in this code base. But I'll try to get the knowledge from the PHP and Laravel projects that I have done so far. Let's see. Yeah, this is the idea. What I'm gonna do is I have created a small PRD. It's a somewhat a copy of Airbnb. The whole prompt was that I want to create an application which is for hotel booking, and I want to do it very similar to Airbnb. So you will see a lot of things functionalities, the entity names and everything, which does match. Also, because everything is AI, I have used Stitch with google.com to generate these designs for me. I mean, anyways, I was not very comfortable with designing, so then I had given some prompts and tried to get a nice design. I didn't mention the name of the app, so it says Stay Finder. I'm planning to do uh, Stay Nest. Okay. So yes, this is the listing page of my properties. That's what I am planning to do. Nice looking images, and then I have this detail page. I have some maps and stuff as well, and then I have this home page. Okay, so yeah, this is something which I have a feeling view code. Let me see. This is generally React code, if I'm not wrong. Oh, that's beautiful. So this is plain HTML, and so we can easily convert it to React. I'm thinking the front end I can host it on Vercel, so I don't have a problem with that uh, pricing. And maybe for the backend, I'll have to see what can be done. Some free tier stuff if I can figure it out. Anything decent, I will go with that. Um, so yeah, so let's get started with a blank slate. My my terminator is recently freezing again and again. I don't know what happened. Personal tutorials, column refactor is fine. So I'll start with maybe creating a project and organization. What do we do? Um, I'll have an organization maybe. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, this should be free. And stay nest, personal account. Stay nest is already taken. Okay, this is a variable, so I'll use that. Amitabh, Canada. Wow. Why is it not allowing me to select? What happened? Okay, my OTP. GitHub. Yeah. Okay, this is done, and we'll create new repository. Nest stay client. Next.js based front-end application for Nest. Stay. This will be public. Give me around one right now, and I'll create one more. Nest stay server or API. Okay, Python FastAPI based backend APIs for next stay. And again, this will be public. All right. In the meantime, I will have a PTR. Say, okay, this is ready, and I don't think it will allow me to clone right now because these are empty. I should have um, done a add readme. At least that would have helped. But anyways, I'll do FADIR this. The other one was client, right? Let's stay API. Have my cursor up and running. Okay. Have a new tab. Have plot here as well. And maybe for I generally like the light theme, so I'll just change it for now so that everyone is not complaining. Default dark plus. Okay. Let's see. Hope stream is proper because stream finished. Why? What is this? No. View activity. Okay, this is working. Wow. You need to change the video resolution. The current resolution is this, which is not supported for the configuration. Expect video resolutions in 1920 by 1080. Okay, I get it. I'll have to make this change in my next video. Okay. In the meantime, uh, initialize a new Python project using UV. I want FastAPI APIs, SQL model for my database. I would also like to use a .env for my DB sheets. So it'll go slow. I need, even I'm new to this format of doing things. So we will go over that slowly. This is CD and UV init. Yeah, you can do UV. So I don't give all permissions to cursor. I have bad experiences where cursor executed certain commands which I was not expecting it to do. So yeah, I keep an eye on what it is doing. Echo UV not found. Okay. Okay, on my Mac I had UV, so this is a problem. Let's see what it does. Ideally it should install. UV not found. Okay, so this is, it is installing. Allow curl. No, I will not allow that. Again, curl is a bit dangerous, so I don't want to give that explicit permission. And okay, I'll share this doc maybe as a drive PDF so that you guys can go over it. I have used Claude to generate that in details. Okay, and what does it say? UV add this. Allow UV add to allow list. Yes, you can do that at least. Right, so I was yeah, I generated this based on certain requirements that I had given it. It has done a pretty good job. I haven't made any major other changes, but overall feels quite exhaustive. And we will go over it step by step. We have the designs as well. Feels quite complete. And where are we now? Yeah, I'll also set up my database. So let's see MySQL actually. Create database. Stay nest. Yeah, perfect. Except, it's not Postgres, it's MySQL. So I'll have to check what it has installed. Import your settings from pylons. Okay, yeah, please go ahead and do that. It has used what is this? PSY psycog. I think it is related to Postgres. I will have to tell it. Okay, go ahead. I'll do the initial setup and then we will commit it as well. Yeah. Database. I think this is the there's the alchemy, no, SQL model configuration. So I will say that I want to use MySQL along with migrations using, I think it was alchemy. Let me see. Python migrations SQL model. Yeah, SQL alchemy. Using SQL alchemy to make necessary changes to packages and config. Okay. In the meantime, what does it say? Claude may read, right? Yes, please go ahead. Do the init later. Okay. Claude, when you're working with Claude, you typically should have that claude.md as an initialized file. I will do that later when I have the overall setup ready so that Claude can understand that thing. And .env localhost port 3306, user will be root, my development password is password, so that's all good. cp.env to.env.example. What does it say? UV remove, yes. We see health of the stream. Hope everything is fine. No, still says bad. In the meantime, let me look at the config. So if you see, this load env is basically how we get hold of the values from the .env file. And then it is a class settings, database URL. So it concatenated everything and it is getting a string. That final string will be used. Okay. Yeah, perfect. One good thing is it is using classes. I was trying a few things some time back, I guess about a day or two ago, and for some reason it was doing everything as functions, and I don't know why. So you'll have to be quite detailed in terms of your style of code and what you want and everything. Like you saw, uh, I told it to initialize the project, and it went ahead with Postgres, because I think with Python most of the things are done with Postgres, and I don't have Postgres on my machine, so I had to tell it explicitly to change. Schema create all. Yeah, this is what will get executed initially, so that it creates all the tables. And session is something which is required. This is something that I know. I'll explain it. So basically in main.py, right, if I go, this is the basic documentation. This is on startup initdb. So this is one URL which you will hit, and on FastAPI on startup, right, initdb will get executed and all your tables will get created. That's how automatically it does it. But after that, what happens is whenever you are trying to do any database related activity, you need to get the connection from SQLModel, which we get using get session. Okay, so this is the get session gives me a generator session any none. So this is what we will need to do that. By the way, why is it stuck some? Okay, it is looking for a user input. UV run. No, I will not do UV run. It is very similar to PHP Artisan. It can screw up things. We will not use that. Okay. And what changes do we have here? That's fine. Do close all. With dark mode, this is one problem that I have. This text is not readable now. I don't know why this is not fixed. Still doing certain things. And by the way, I will do a lot of commits because that will help us go back to certain code and refer them. Okay, so once this initial thing is done, I'll make a first commit, and then we will make certain changes to our application because we want the code to be in a specific way. Like I don't want alembic database.py at the root of the code. It doesn't make sense. Okay. Does UV give me .get? Yes, it does. Obviously, it should not have any get remote. Actually, it doesn't. So get add get remote add. This one is the API. So get remote add this one. Okay. Where Okay, so this is done. What does it say? Remove Postgres driver, added MySQL support, Alembic, updated configuration. Okay, one more thing. Create a make file. I do have make, right? Yeah. Create a make file. It should have a command to run the FastAPI app with reload enabled. The make command for that should be run dev, then a command make migrate, which should run the migrations, a command migrate make, which should take message from user and auto generate a migration file. So yeah, the downgrade, also add a migrate rollback to downgrade by 1. So this will give me an easy way to run certain commands, because if you would have seen, those are long commands which I'll have to remember. Why do we need to do that? When we can have our own small, easy-going commands which we can create pretty easily. Okay, make files are basically ways for you to execute certain commands. So what does it say? Make help allow make run. I'm not going to allow you that as well. It's a bit over here, maybe not. Yeah, I hope it doesn't take away the voice clarity. Should be fine. Make it. Oops, not the disk analyzer. So in terms of the entities, right, what I'm gonna do is what happened? So what I'm saying is, what I'm thinking of doing is, I'll create first a entity called hotel. So create a new entity, hotel. It metadata about hotel. Following columns should be added to the table. Okay, in the meantime, let me see. Make. Yep, this is correct. Make migrate. Does it work? Unknown database nest stay. Why unknown database? MySQL dash root dash p show databases. Stay nest. Drop database. Stay nest. I did the opposite now. So create database nest stay with how it should work. Yeah, it does. So show tables. I need some UI for this. I think I have DB. No, I need to install. What is that tool called? I don't remember right now. Wow, DB. Some DBeaver. Yeah, yeah. I'll have to install that. Maybe I'll do that later. Not right now. But we have the migrations in place. Get session init db is removed. Why is it removed from here? Let's see. Database.py. This is also removed. Why would it do that? Is it because I added the Alembic migrations? I think this is not, yeah, this is not required anymore. So use migrations instead of create all for production. Perfect. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, that was a dangerous thing. So you see, I knew about it, but when the all initial DB function was setting things up, but the moment I introduced Alembic, AI made those changes. But we need to be careful. We need to understand this is something which, as a developer, I should know that on production I cannot run this init DB because yes, it's a hook. It will get executed every time, and it's unnecessary. So I'm assuming that is the primary reason we do that. Okay, Alembic INI. In here, changes are made so that we don't have any secrets in here. So what happens is Alembic relies on this INI file for certain configurations, and by default, this is the URL, the JDBC URL. I think that's what it is called. See, the database connection URL, right? Which will be used to connect to the database, and this INI is going to be committed, so we can't have the connection string in this file, and I can't ignore it. So what it does, I actually is, see, it takes configuration set main alchemy URL settings.database URL. And how are we getting this settings.database URL? Is basically this string, right? So we get the string over here, and we are overriding. Show you the INI again. SQLModel SQLModel. This we are overriding with the value that we got from the settings file, and because this is a Python file, we are able to use this os.getEnv because we are doing a load.env. Okay, so this is how we have loaded our .env values using .env, and then we have passed them using os.get environment to this string, and Alembic is now able to read them. Okay, so I can go ahead and make this as accept. This is my make file, so I have run dev, which will have a reload host and port. Then I have a migrate make, rollback. Perfect. And now make run dev. Okay, make run dev. That's how it has done. No problem. Browser, localhost, welcome. Yes, this is done. And if I have docs, we have these two APIs. So our Python API with FastAPI is kind of configured. I'll do my first level of commit over here. I'm not committing anything unnecessary, right? In the example, yeah. And now uh, I have plot code over here. This is the application running, and that's why I like. Oh, it is denied, is it? I'll have to add myself as a user to this. How does it work? Because hmm, no, I can't do that on screen. I mean, uh, might have to generate thing, a token, which is organization level things, permissions, but personal access token, fine grain. Okay. Repositories. I mean, can't I add a collaborator then? Collaborator, organizational access, add people. Okay. Yes, add read admin. This should solve the problem, I think. And this is at the Nest API. Okay, I'll do that. The request URL returned error 403. I don't know what permission problem is there. We'll fix that later. Don't need to worry about it right now. But at least I have a commit. Right? Yeah. Now, what I want to do is let me write it down here and then I'll paste it. So I want my Alembic folder along with database.py, config.py, no, alembic.ini inside database folder. The database folder should be inside the root folder. Perfect. And is there anything else? No. So just tell it to make this change. I hope it is doing its thing. In the meantime, okay, so with at least how I do the AI based coding is I have multiple things going around. So yeah, I'm working on this entity while the rest of the things are happening. So on the model, oh, by the way, because this is initial, there are multiple things which are happening. And once things stabilize, right, we will be doing only one thing at a time. So it's not very overwhelming for any one of you. I mean, this is something which you do only once. This is not something we will do again and again, but the initial setup does take a little bit of effort, but yeah, that's fine. And while this is doing its thing, as I said, we were working on the model for hotel. So create new entity, it will have metadata. So ID, name, then description is active. Let me see. In Python. Oh, I can do it at a code base level. I'll add it to Claude because let us keep that discussion over here. In Python, typically column names are with underscores. Like if I want to have a boolean value is active, is it typically is active. Let's just understand what is the best practice over here. Yeah. What is it doing? FastAPI tree. Yeah, go ahead. It has created the database folder. I can see that. Alembic is here. Versions, which will be active. These are interesting files. I was not initially aware why this is required, and I would go and delete them. And but then later on, I understood that when you are trying to make files where the functions are exposed, or you have classes, I mean, this almost works like a package thing. So these files are important, and then I have stopped deleting them. Database from get session. Previously it was okay. Now because it is in this init.py, it is able to directly reference that, and it is not doing database.database. Alembic ini. Yes, it does change the prepend system path, which is fine. And what is the make file doing over here? UV run Alembic database upgrade head. Okay, it updated the path over here as well, and over here as well. So see, this is one of the advantage of having a make file, because these things can get in there for once and then you are free. You just run it like normally you do. Okay, is my stream still working? Quick checks every now and then. Yeah. Fine. Let's move ahead. What is this? This main.py must have, yeah, it updated certain imports, I'm sure. Yeah, we have gone through this. This is now done. So now we can focus only on one feature. Okay. Okay. Camel case is typically associated with JavaScript and everything, while snake is the standard convention. So fine. Now we are good. So I need, for a hotel, we need name, description, do optional, active by default. Then what do we need additionally? Contact email, optional, contact, phone, required. Okay, this should be a required thing. Contacts cannot be optional. Now, what else do we really need for hotel? Yeah, location. Now defaults to 0. So the reason we are having a location count is, what I'm trying to do is, the hotel is like the umbrella uh, entity, and all the locations will be part of that hotel, because typically you will have multiple locations for a single hotel. You can have that thing. Not every hotel have only one branch. So to accommodate that, I'm basically doing this. Create a new entity hotel. I would like a migration for this. Yeah, I'm thinking whether I should have a relation of the user. Maybe no. This one, Rahul 5008. Hi Rahul. Thanks for being online and thanks for the chat. How are you doing? How's your weekend? Yeah. So these are the fields. I'm just thinking whether I'll need anything else. I don't think so. So I'll first have move the database related files inside database folder. I can generate the messages and I will do that, but initial ones I'm just trying to keep them meaningful as of now. Okay. This one we will go with the plan mode because there is some work involved and I would like to understand what it is trying to do. So I'll do that. Okay. Database names, right? So we have plurals. At least I'm used to that with my my Laravel conventions. So I'll go with plural. What type of ID should the field have? Integer. For now, it can be integer. I should have a slug. Every hotel should have a slug. Otherwise, the URLs will be very awkward. They will also reveal the number of things which we don't want. Let's see, hold on a bit. Yeah. Okay. So I would also like to add one column after name slug. This will have the URL friendly hotel name. Let's keep it like that for now. Add a unique constraint to this column. Yeah, I'll need that because the hotels, when we click to go through, if you look at the design, where is the design? So let's say I click on this Grand Resort and I come to this screen, right? So I'll need the URL to have that slug so that it is, yeah, identifiable, right? So it has added it. Also, I want that the model folder, I want that the model folder is inside app folder, and app folder should be in at the root. So root app models. Rahul is asking, can you tell me about yourself? What do you do and what exactly are you building? Well, Rahul, I am primarily a PHP Laravel developer, and in this video and over few subsequent videos, what I'm trying to do is get an experience of how to build a largest application using AI. Okay, I'm not gonna code much on my own. I'll pretty much use Cursor and Claude to generate most of the code, but I will try to understand how I can utilize my experience, the best practices that I have with my PHP and Laravel experience, and build something solid in Python through this thing. And for that, I'm trying to follow an application which is similar to Airbnb. I'm calling it Nest Stay, and hoping that in some amount of time I am able to get a decent enough application developed. I hope that answers your question. And we have one more user. Thank you guys for joining in. Chirag. Yeah, hi Chirag. Good morning. Happy weekend. How are you doing? Okay, so we have updates to our plan. Create app directory, app init to make it Python package models inside this. Okay, export the hotel model for easy imports. Hotel model primary key, name is string, slug, description. Okay. The model will use SQLModel table equals true to create this. Yes, these are SQLModel specific things. Update env to import hotel models. Yes, this is one thing. When we create the model, the .env file, this file needs to have an idea of the number of models. Otherwise, it fails to, generate uh, those migrations. Okay. Chirag says, what is Stitch? Oh, so Chirag, Stitch is a free tool which allows you to create designs just by prompts. Like if you see, my first prompt was, I want you to make a page layout similar to Airbnb. I will have hotel listings on this page. On top, users should be able to search hotels based on location, dates. The card should show the name of the hotel, price per night, and average rating. And this is what it came up with. So people who are not very good with design, like me, I would rather want a starting place. So this is a great tool. You just tell it, it will generate the design. You can iterate over it with prompts and come up with these things. Yeah, that's cool. It's such a big level up for people like me who are not very good with designs. I was never able to get such beautiful designs in my applications, but now with AI, this is again possible very easily. Okay, generate migration. Migration will create the hotel table with all specific columns. Yep. modified files, technical details, structure, ID int, primary key, slug, unique is true. Yeah, okay. Let's hit build and let it do its thing. In the meantime, Chirag is saying, can we export this later to Figma or something? Chirag, you don't need to export it to Figma. If you are trying to develop it, it gives you the entire HTML. Preview? No, not preview. Where is it? View code. Can you see this? The entire HTML is given to you. So whatever is your preferred language, whether it is React, Vue.js, Angular, Vanilla.js, up to you. You just get the HTML files and you start building on top of it. And Rahul says tech stack currently you are following. So my tech stack right now is Python, FastAPI, SQLModel. Python, obviously, the language. FastAPI I'm using for the APIs. That's the framework I'm using. And SQLModel is the ORM of choice. That is generating the okay. So yes, Chirag, yes, this is really nice, and I hope you understand um, how useful it is. And yes, if you are building something, some nice designs, do share with me on the comments. Everyone will have an idea, and you know, it will be good to share certain ideas that you feel or you have designed using that stitch. To generate create hodl. Okay, yes, go ahead. I don't need this anymore. We'll also do tests because I like the peace of mind of having tests for my code base. And so for Python, what's the typical test framework that is used? Is there anything that comes out of the box? Unit tests. Okay. PyTest. However, PyTest is the most popular choice. That's what I have read. So we will do PyTest. Okay. In the meantime, I need to run init for my Claude. Rahul says even I built three web apps and one Android app using AI coding tools. All are there in my portfolio and LinkedIn. That's amazing, Rahul. That's really great. Thanks for sharing that. Why don't you drop your LinkedIn profile? I'll send you a networking request, and I'll see what you have developed. But yes, I strongly believe that with these AI tools, we are very much empowered now. We can build a lot of things, and now a lot of time we can spend on quality improvements on our code base, thinking about architecture, scalability and stuff rather than spending time really writing code. And that's why I was looking forward to having something like this where I'm able to do live coding. I don't have to worry too much about writing code because I always had a bit difficulty concentrating on writing code and also talking. Uh, so yeah, this kind of is what I feel would help. I would be able to continue with this approach. Let's see. Um, I need this because that helps. So this is the hotel in create file. Yes. Let's go ahead. Then all package. This is app level. Yeah. And as I said, you'll see app.models.hotel. It is added, but it's never used. This is the only place where it is there, because SQL model metadata needs to have a list of all the models. Okay, that's the only reason it is imported here. There's no other reason why we have that. Okay. So I guess the convention for the table, the models are singular name, is it? When working with SQL model, are table names singular, SINGU, singular, or plural? For model and table names. I think it will understand. The convention is model class singular. Use model will be hotel, user, booking. Table names are plural. Okay, so I'm following that correctly. Fair enough. And why is it complaining? It must be a typed thing. Let it come back with what is the problem. In the meantime, we will entity hotel ID, default none, primary key, okay, name, string unique true, contact phone number, okay, declared attributes. That's how the typing was now, and but now it has a different issue. Need to understand what is this. I haven't faced this problem previously, so okay. In the meantime, how does my migration look like? Import SQL model, create table hotels, SI column, boolean, this server default. What is server default? I have ask mode, and let's try and understand what is the attribute server underscore default for. So the server default attribute sets a default value at the database level, not in the application code. Okay, understood. Thank you. So the table name fixed, added a type, ignored. Fair enough. So I guess this is fine. I'll just go ahead with the migration spy file, and the only thing now pending is this. By the way, guys, I strongly believe that we should have a clear idea of every line of code that we are committing, and that's why I'm asking every bit of questions to in the AI agent in situations where I don't understand what is happening. Otherwise, if you don't have that knowledge, the debugging will become horrible. I mean, You will have no idea what is happening, and at one point things will start to become out of control. Right. Let's see. Make migrate. No module config. Okay. First of all, okay, I don't have the migration yet. Uh, when I run make migrate to run the migrations, I get check and fix. By the way, is it is running upgrade head. Okay, and no module name config. That is the error. So when it will run that, it will get the error. I'm assuming it did. Now it should fix. Okay. So config module isn't found. Checking LMU configurations. The prepend path in this isn't applied before imports. Adding the path to system this. Okay. What does that mean? Wow, it's already 1 hour 10, almost 1 hour 10 minutes. So what is the change? Add project root to Python path. And why is it required? Is it really necessary? Okay, I do have hotels. Describe hotels. Oops. Perfect. But my only thing is, why this? Okay, again, I will have the ask agent. Why do I need this? Is there any other way? I mean, I would rather have it at a system level, if not here. Is this being what? Project root equals file parent. So this file, not parent. Okay. Mm, so it says that you already without adding the project root to system path, Python cannot find these modules when Alembic runs. Alternative, use prepend path in Alembic ini. You already have this on line 21, but that only adds database to the path, not the project root. You can remove the manual system path manipulation and update ini instead. Prepend system path. Don't you think configuration in the ini is better? Let's ask that question. In ask mode, you can be you can have this kind of a situation where it can go into a little bit of a limbo land for some time. Do we have any new comments? No. Okay, no problem. Yeah. What does it say? The sandbox is read-only, so the changes weren't applied. Make these manually. No, I asked you a question. Okay. So what I'll do is, I'll come over here. And say, I don't like this approach. Why don't you make that configuration inside the INI file? And let's see what it has to do. In the meantime, I don't need this chat window and even this chat window. Okay. It will not have anything to migrate, but at least I can do a rollback. Oh, checking how Alembic processes this. Okay, reading. Looks like that method didn't work. This much code just for that. Apply this before importing. No. What is it doing? Apply. The path configuration is now in Alembic, and env reads and applies it before importing project modules. Let me understand. The path configuration is now in alembic.ini, and env reads and applies it before importing project modules. Changes made in the Alembic INI, set path to this, which is in database, so points to dot dot. In the alembic.env.py, added code to read prepend this from Alembic configuration and applied syspath before importing this. No. This is more of a hack. It takes the config, prepend the path. Nah. Okay. I think the previous version was better. Revert to that. Okay. Fine. While it does its thing, we have one more question for Claude. In Laravel, I follow a pattern where for CRUDs, where the request is validated by request class, then controller takes the request and pass data, uh, the validated data, not the request, the validated data, pass it to an action class to perform the DB operations. In Python, I understand validations are done using schema classes, but what about database? What's the best practice? So while we are getting an answer to that, we have reverted back our dot, not dot, but the env.py, that small little change that we had. Remove everything from here. Oh, it's still not complete, is it? Oh, it has reverted it, so fine. And now, if I do make migrate rollback, done, and migrate. Okay, this is working. env, this is done. I think I will. The next step is obviously the CRUDs, but it's more than 1 hour actually, and I think I'll stop it for now. Just that we need to understand what we will follow as a pattern. So in Python FastAPI, the common pattern is repository pattern, most similar to your level actions. Repositories, database operations like your action classes. Service layer, when you need business logic beyond CRUD. Okay. So the schema is here. Repository is here. Create. Okay. If I have a situation where to complete one database operation, I need first make a database operation in another table. Then are we looking at calling methods from other repositories into another? For example, if I have a location model, when I am creating a location, I would first try to find the hotel and confirm it exists. Then, actually no, creating a location, I would first insert the record in location table. Then I would like to increment the count of number of properties, property count in hotels table. How to do that? Let's understand. Okay. This is where the service layer comes in. Okay. It orchestrates multiple repositories within a single transaction. So I'll have to have two different repositories, and the service layer will use them. Okay, makes sense. So I have create of location here, increment location count here in the hotel repository. Okay, so every database action we will have inside the repository, which is a common pattern. And then the service will have access to both those repositories and it will call it one after the other. And then finally do the commit because it has to be in a single transaction. Absolutely makes sense. This is exactly what we will do in our next video, guys. Can you, uh, what I will do definitely is point this out. So docs. I'll have a docs folder, and what I will tell Claude to do is, why don't you document this approach, repository and service layer, in a markdown file inside the docs folder. Also, update your memory for this project to have a rule where repositories and services are used in the way you have described for the current situation. Okay, I want this to be documented so that later on when we are doing multiple such activities, I have the folder already. Okay, when we are doing multiple such activities, that pattern is being followed. Architecture doc. The architecture repository service pattern. Okay, it's all done for now, for this video at least. All right, guys, I think that's about it. I will end the current thing right at this place. This is what I wanted to do, and when you have a general sense, in my subsequent videos I will move ahead, do more development on this. But yeah, that's about it for now. Hope you guys enjoy it. Tell me your feedback. What are your questions? What are you planning to see more in this series? I'll continue to work on that accordingly along with my own plans. Thank you and see you soon.